Good afternoon. Hello. Good. Happy Wednesday. Wednesday. Definitely Wednesday. Definitely a Wednesday. So, today we are talking about productivity tips, and I do have a really exciting announcement to make during this stream. But we're talking about productivity in the meantime. I want to go over 10 productivity tips that help me to get through literally my daily life. I balance so many different things. I have to juggle so many different like work and jobs and responsibilities that productivity is really big. And I don't mean staying busy. Busy is not necessarily productivity. Productivity is actually getting things done, working towards an end goal and ticking off your to-do list. So, how do I get so much done every day without burning out? That's what we're going to talk about today. But first, by the way, I'm Terrell, and this is Absolutely Studying. I bootstrapped my way through university while juggling a full time job and a family. It was not easy, it was really tough. But I made it through. And now I want to supply you with all of the resources and support you need to flourish in your academic career. So, productivity, 10 things to productivity, and my great big announcement, which I'm going to save for a little bit later. But first, if you want to be able to make the most productive time of your study sessions and you are still in school, head down and pick up my study planner. It is about 8 or 9 pages now. It keeps growing because I keep adding so many new features to it. It has a study tracker, it has study planners, it has organization checklists. There's a whole bunch of goodies in there. It's in the description below. Check it out and download it for free. So, first, let's get into a couple of my productivity tips because that's why we're here. So, the very first thing about being productive is, again, to set goals. Before you can get productive and get out of just being busy, you have to have a goal, a definite endpoint to work with. And that also means setting SMART goals. So let's start at the big end and work our way down because I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. First, you should have a big eventual goal, which doesn't necessarily have to be with pinpoint precision. It's just a general idea of where you want to go or what you want out of life. That goal should be broken down into a monthly goal, whether you set New Year's resolutions or you just know that you want to graduate from university or you want to have a career as a CEO or something like that. There should be a monthly goal that furthers and pushes you into that direction. So maybe your monthly goal is to have a set study schedule or to ace a test or something like that. That's a small monthly goal that we can actually work towards. Those monthly goals can be set in our monthly live goal setting session. I do have one every month. So subscribe to get notified of when those go live. I did just, I believe last week, do February's goal setting. So if you don't have your goals set for February already, just jump over and check out that video and set some goals with me. So those monthly goals can then be broken down into weekly goals. And that's great because it allows us to actually have actionable items that we can work towards. We can actually take those weekly goals and break them down into daily tasks that we can actually accomplish. So that makes something massive, something like our entire future, actually broken down into daily initiatives that we can take action on. And those are ways to keep us productive. So, depending on how big or small the goal is, we can do a couple of those a day, keep us productive, keep us moving towards our goals, and actually get things accomplished. There are so many times, and especially before I really got before I really, really got serious about my goals and about my bigger picture, that I just ran from busy to busy to busy. I just ran from task to task to task without actually sitting back and thinking how it furthered my agenda, I want to say, how it actually furthered my circumstance, how it actually furthered what I was trying to do or where I was trying to go in life. And so sitting back and actually mapping out the bigger picture, even if it's just 1 month at a time, will really help you to make moves into the proper direction. And the proper direction is whatever direction you want it to go in, and actually make the progress I needed to achieve something rather than just staying busy all the time, because it's not great to always be busy unless you're busy with a purpose. So, number two on our list is start early. This is especially true for entrepreneurs or people in school, where start a project as soon as you get it. So, whether it's a product that you're launching as an entrepreneur or an assignment that you get as a student, the second you get it, I don't mean jump in and start writing that essay. At least sit down and brainstorm for 5, even 10 minutes and get your ideas on paper. So, perfect example, I actually think I have it listed on my website. I did a project about mushrooms. I was taking a mushroom class. I did a project on mushrooms, and we were assigned it the first day of class. So it wasn't due till about halfway through the semester. I didn't start it right away. Like, I didn't start collecting the mushrooms and everything right away. But as soon as I saw there was this mushroom project, I started putting my ideas down. I tried to imagine what I wanted the project to look like, and then I wrote it down. Over the coming weeks, I started collecting my mushrooms. I started taking my spore prints, and I assigned about an hour a week in the beginning of the class before I knew too much about what the actual meat and potatoes about the project was going to be. I still set a little bit of time aside to collect the mushrooms, make the spore prints, and actually start putting together the outline of the project. So as I learned more and more, I could add more and more detail. So that turns a big task, because that one assignment was worth, like, I think a third of our mark or half of our mark. It was worth a massive amount of our mark. So I was able to take this assignment and just have a idea of where I was going. So I worked on it a little bit at a time, and then when it was actually due, I still had a ton of work to do, but I already had an idea. I already had the information I needed. I just needed to put it together. And because I had been working on it this entire time, just little tiny tasks, chipping away at it, doing brainstorms, writing blurbs and stuff like that, when I actually sat down to do it, the idea of tackling this abstract problem or project was no longer foreign to me. So I wasn't afraid of it, and it was much less overwhelming. So because of that, I was able to really get in there, get my hands dirty, and I ended up getting 100% on this market, on this project. It was amazing. I had this whole vision of it, and I'm so proud how it turned out. It was one of those things that it turned out so much better than I could have imagined when it was on paper. I actually have it on my website. Maybe I'll link it below so you guys can see. It's I turned it into a video form so that you could watch it on my website. But yeah, it's a slideshow, and I really put my foot in that one. So, what I mean to say here is start early. When you have a project, when you hear of an assignment, start right away. Get your ideas and your vision down on paper. Start imagining what you want the final project to look like, to sound like, to be like, anything like that. Just try and imagine it and put those ideas down and just chip away at little tiny things. Even if you just want to write a list of all the things you need to do to get this project done, go ahead and write that list. And then once you have that list, you can start crossing off parts of the project in any order you want. Next, one of the biggest keys to staying productive is super counterintuitive. If you want to be productive and get the most out of your time, you need to take frequent breaks. This is really weird because you think, no, I need to get more done, not less. But these breaks are actually going to almost multiply the efficacy of your time. When you take breaks, it's going to replenish your concentration. You're going to be able to concentrate better. You're going to be able to have that little second win of energy. You're going to be able to refocus on what you're doing when you come back. When you do come back after your break, you're also not just going to sit down, pick up your pencil, and dive right back in. It's going to take you a couple of seconds to kind of figure out what you were doing before you took your break and then refocus your energy and get back to it. So in this time of assessing what you were doing as you were working right before your break, you're going to be able to reassess what you were doing. So maybe what you were doing was not as efficient as it could have been. Let's say, for example, you were doing the to-do list for a project that you were about to undertake. And so you were by hand writing down all of the little minute tasks that you had to do to write an essay, for example. Maybe you were doing that by hand, then you decided to take a break because you were struggling with concentration and you left. When you came back, you realized writing this down by hand is taking a really long time because I'm a slow writer. So maybe I'll type it instead, or I'll make a spreadsheet. And that way I can check it off as I work through. That is something that you were too close to at the time of actually doing it because you were just writing it down with your hands. So now you had a chance to reassess that process and tweak the process just a little bit so that you could actually get it done better or faster, I guess. Next, getting up, walking away, and taking a quick break, especially if you do something a little bit more physical. And I don't mean taking a walk or doing jumping jacks. I mean literally getting up, walking around. And even one of the things I actually like to do on my breaks is I will just spend a 5-minute block of tidying. So I'll get up and I will go and tidy up my desk, or I might throw a load of laundry in, or something like that. And again, it just allows me to take a break from what I'm focusing on and also get something else done. So I'll run down to the basement and I'll throw some laundry in. And that simple task of getting up, walking down to the basement, throwing laundry in is actually quite physical. So that's going to get my blood pumping. And when your blood starts pumping a little bit more, it's going to flood fresh oxygen to your brain. And that's going to make you more alert. It's going to make you a little less tired or groggy, or I don't want to say lazy, but it's just going to pep you back up. And that is going to help you focus when you return to your task. Ooh, I hope you have your coffee for this. Now, moving forward, another part of getting and staying productive is to plan your time. This works in two really great ways. First of all, when you plan your time, especially if you chunk it and you actually assign a certain amount of time to work on specific tasks, it's going to let you clearly see what you can do in a day and what you don't have time to do. So this is going to be great because will give you the time you need to do all of your tasks. It will also give you an opportunity to give yourself some rest and not overburden yourself. And by not overburdening yourself, you're also going to reduce the chance of losing a lot of your motivation due to not being able to reach the goals you set out. So, if you have a long laundry list of things you want to do in a day and it's just not possible due to time constraints to get all of that stuff done, it's going to take a little hit to your ego. You're going to be set aback a little bit because you just don't have the time to get what you want done, and then you feel bad because you wanted to get more done than you were able to. Whereas if you actually plan your time and allot time periods to give you like a specified amount of time to do a specific task, then you're going to better arrange your time. You're going to be able to work more efficiently. You're going to be more likely to have time to rest and take a break between tasks. And you're going to have a more realistic understanding and expectation of what you can and cannot do in the time you have. So, while we are there, I want to just take a quick second out to tell you about my amazing announcement. And you are one of the first to hear about it. I did kind of announce a countdown on Instagram, but I saved the actual discussion and nitty-gritty just for you. So, I am finally launching my study skills digital course. The and the launch date, it will be available on March 1st. March 1st, we are going to be officially launching it. I'm so excited. If you have been around, you have seen and heard that I have been talking about the production and post production and planning of this course for months. It has been such a labor of love, and I'm so excited to finally be able to announce and present it. So, what is it? It is, oh my goodness, it is a massive, massive course. First, it has 5 modules, and I'm going to actually go through them here and give you a little sneak peek. The first module is all about getting organized and setting yourself up for, no, that one's all about getting organized for your time, your study materials, how to plan your time, how to plan your study sessions. I think it's got about 7 different units in it, and it is just so much information. There's a workbook for each of the 5 modules that will take you through step by step by step and help you to get organized. The second one is all about note-taking strategies and how to take notes, how to take the best lecture notes. We go through step by step by step and learn all of these things in depth and one-on-one, just you and me. The third module is all about reading strategies and sitting down and studying strategies and how to get the most out of your notes, how to get the most out of your study time, and get all of those things organized and put together. Then we go into how to be the most successful student that you possibly can be and how to set you up for success in that way. And then we have an entire module about troubleshooting as a student, what to do if you fall behind, how to actually approach your professors about help, and so on. There's so much packed into this course that it's amazing. I'm so excited. Like I said, I've been working on it for so long. This is essentially my one-on-one service pre-packaged into a digital course so that it can actually reach more students who are too shy to hire an academic consultant, students who can't afford to hire an academic consultant, even students who just don't have the time. Sometimes it's a really big commitment to schedule a 1-hour block a week. So this one is broken down into short snippets that you can do on your own time It is a give and take course so that you can go through and you can work on what you're ready to before you move on to the next unit. And again, it has an entire workbook to help you along the way. I will, of course, be available for questions and emails and everything like that every step of the way because I want to make sure you are as supported as possible. And there are going to be other tiers. So there is just the basic course that you can get, but then there are some other levels where you can get some goodies to go along with it and even some one-on-one planning and coaching sessions if you still want them after you take the course. So that is my big, huge announcement. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. Like I said, it was going to be March 1st is the actual launch date. So that is only a few weeks away. And I don't even have any words. So I will leave a link in the description. I will pop it down. And if you are interested or if you are at all curious, email me and I can answer any of your questions. Or if you want to be notified a little bit more information, it will be available as well. Okay, so let's get back to productivity. Now, on the heels of that whole side quest I just took you on, I'm going to talk about distractions. Turn off your distractions. Make best friends with do not disturb mode. So, if you are using, for example, I use the Pomodoro method. I highly, highly recommend the Pomodoro method. I it is a 2-hour block that is broken down into 4 minutes of focus, broken up by 5 minutes of break in between. So you focus intensely for 25 minutes. Then you are scheduled for a 5-minute break. You repeat that 4 times. And then after that, you get a 20-minute break. So you're sitting there, you're working hard for 25 minutes. Focus, focus, focus. And then you get 5 minutes. And that's usually when I jump up, I'll go get a snack, I'll throw some laundry in, I'll come back. Sometimes if I start a early morning study session, I will even take that 5 minutes to like run down, jump in the shower, come back up and be all nice and fresh for my next study block. So that is the Pomodoro method in short. How I bring this up is that I would turn my phone on do not disturb or on silent for that entire 25 minutes. During my 5-minute breaks is when I would check. So sometimes on my 5-minute breaks, I would just go through and respond to text messages, maybe check out some TikToks. I didn't really respond to emails because that's too much like work, but I would then spend that 5 minutes on my phone or if I didn't have that much to do, I would go and do all of my running around. But the thing is that there's very few things that cannot wait for 25 minutes. Obviously, if you have an emergency that's not great and maybe if you have something that's going to happen, you might not want to turn on your do not disturb for that study session until you get the word back. But outside of that, there's not too many things that can not wait for 25 minutes. So put your phone on do not disturb. Put it on silent if you cannot deal with do not disturb or if you are afraid that you might miss out on an emergency. And just focus. Every time your phone goes off, it's going to pull your attention and that's going to pull you out of focus. And then it takes you entire minutes to get back on track. And while entire minutes might not seem that daunting right now, if you're getting a ton of notifications, a bunch of emails, a bunch of spams, games notifying you, all of these different notifications are going to keep pulling your attention away. And that's really going to add up. So turn on, do not disturb, turn off notifications, whatever you're comfortable with, and just put your phone face down beside you. Don't touch it for the entire 25 minutes. Next, don't multitask. And this goes hand in hand with the notifications. Do one task at a time. And by doing that, you're going to give it your full attention and you're going to be able to get it done quicker. Even though so many people think that they can multitask, it really does slow everything down. Even something like sending faxes. I will often send a bunch of faxes out. And for me, because I use it e-fax, I'll send out those faxes, I'll go do something else. I'll send out those faxes, I'll go do something else. And now I'm juggling these two things and it takes time out of both of them. I'm not finishing either one of them faster. If I just sit down and send the faxes and then I go and do the other thing, which is responding to emails or whatever it is, I will get them both done quicker. Which, if you're able to get them both done quicker, then it's actually going to reduce the amount of time you're working on either of them rather than splitting the difference. So, for some of you, this should have come up much longer ago, but we're just getting to it now, and that is make a to-do list. So, this goes hand in hand with planning your time. Making a to do list gives you a clear understanding of everything you need to get done. This can be a running to do list, or this can be one that you have assigned to different days. I like to keep a running to do list that I assign to different days, and I just keep it in my planner. So I have my planner, I have it decorated and set up how I need to. I start with big projects and allot the time that I need to do them on the days that I need them done. And then as I work through the week, I add items to my to do list. Once I have too many items on a specific day, which is usually about 4 or 5 items, I will start moving them to other days, depending on what projects I have due on those days. And of course, the timeline that I have to get these things done in. So, for example, I have to do my analytics. I didn't do it yesterday. Oops. So I threw it on my schedule for tomorrow because I had already too many items on today. It's still on my to do list. It's in my planner, which is something that I work off of constantly. I'm like, where is it? So I've got it on my planner and I will just keep working through each day. I've already got items on my planner for the end of the week, but this is something that I can also run as well. Next, one comment I would like to say about keeping a physical to-do list. I do have a digital to-do list and I do have all of my daily things on there, like checking my emails, responding to comments on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. Things that I have to check off every day. I do that because those will automatically populate and I don't have to write them down every single day. Other items I put on my physical planner, and those are things that are a little bit larger. And I like putting them because I enjoy the satisfaction of crossing them off. There's something organic and satisfying about actually being able to cross an item off the list. So I love keeping my physical copy as well. You can do it digitally, you can do it on a physical planner, whatever you choose. Just make sure it's not a whole bunch of loose papers that you're going to lose. And that segues perfectly into using your planner. Use your planner to plan your life. It's so helpful. I remember when I was in, I think, 6th or 7th grade, when I was first learning how to use a planner. Oh. When I was first learning how to use a planner, and it was your agenda and you had to put all of your homework assignments in it, and I could not get it done. And this, I believe, is largely due to the fact that I am very ADHD. And I don't mean that as any kind of a put down or a slur or anything like that. I mean, I actually have ADHD. So I had a really hard time using the planner as it was enforced in elementary school. But as I got a little bit older and I got to be able to use the planner how I wanted to use the planner, and I was able to personalize it and make it mine, I was able to build a relationship with my planner. So yeah, I'm totally one of those people who name things, but that's not what I mean. I mean, I was able to use the planner as an extension of my life rather than as a homework assignment. I was able to put my breakdown goals into the planner rather than just writing in homework assignments, use it as a running list and things like that to actually manage all of the different aspects of my life. And it's been so much more helpful. So, as somebody who used to struggle using a planner, I used to struggle terribly. Now it's a godsend. So, try it. We do have weekly planning sessions live streamed on Fridays. So if you want to start practicing using your planner, definitely drop by. We do goal setting, we plan our weeks. All together, I answer questions, and I would love to have you. Subscribe to be notified. Next, follow the 2-minute rule. So I love this rule because this makes me feel really, really successful a lot of the times. So if it's something that takes 2 minutes or less, just do it. Do it now. Don't put it off. Don't write it on your planner. Just do it immediately. If it is socks on the floor, pick them up and put them in your laundry hamper. If it is, I need to defrost something for dinner, take it out and put it on, or put it in the fridge or put it on the counter, whatever it is. If it only is going to take you 2 minutes, just do it. Finishing these 2-minute tasks is also really going to help you with motivation because you're going to start seeing all of these little things get accomplished. And that's going to give you the motivation and the drive to finish bigger and bigger and bigger things. So if it takes 2 minutes, just do it. That leads straight into tackling your hardest task first. If you tackle your hardest task first, the most challenging thing you have to do in your day, the most dreaded thing, it's going to give you the spunk and the motivation to blow through all of the rest of your daily tasks instead of just putting it off and dreading it all day. Especially if you continue to put it off all day, you are going to kind of hold back in productivity. You are not going to be as productive as you want to because you don't want to get this task done and force you to have to finally face that one. Instead, just reverse it. Get all of your hardest tasks done first, and then you can coast through the rest of the day doing the things that you actually love. So, that right there was my list of 10 things that will level up your productivity. I really, really hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed sharing it with you. I love being productive. I love getting things done. It makes me really happy. And it really helps me to enjoy my downtime, which I do have. I love to work hard throughout the week. I will work hard throughout the week. And then as long as I get everything done during the week, I take Sunday off where I don't even lift a pinky finger if I can get everything done during the week. If I can get done everything during the day, I get to relax all evening. So the faster and the more effective I can use my time, the more time I get to spend doing nothing or the things that I want or reading a new book which I just started. We'll talk about books another day. So, in conclusion, um, being productive actually gives you more time back than just being busy, which is so important, especially right now when self-care is just like the pinnacle of what you need to focus on is taking care of yourself. So I just want to thank you for coming out. Do not forget to pick up the free study planner in the description below. And also, if you want information on my study skills course, please, please, please check out the link. It's in the description. Give me an email, and I would love to hear from you. So I will see you back here tomorrow morning for the live premiere of our Thursday video. And I believe that is how that one is on how I prepare for some of my labs, my biology labs specifically. And until then, I hope you have an amazing adventure.